Hello Drag Race fans and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jer. I have been going through the seasons, sharing my favorite fashions, typically my top 10, maybe a little shouty-outy here and there from something else that I enjoyed. And we are in one of my absolute favorite seasons of all time, and that is RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7. My god, I love this season for a lot of different reasons. This was a huge pivotal moment for the franchise where we started to move into actual runway categories. These weren't just bring your best Tony look, bring your best dress, bring your favorite body part. It was actual themes, actual concepts and ideas. This was the cast that added themed couture in a way that no one had done since Manila Luzon. Some people had tried in previous seasons. You see queens like Alaska giving some very interesting concepts to the runway. People like Trinity K. Bonet, who was certainly the most fashionable that season. But then someone like Milk, who was absolutely thinking outside of the carton every single week. And it was this cast that came out every week with concepts, with themes, with an idea that wasn't just a gown. There were, of course, a couple of girls here and there, someone like Candy Ho, who kind of only came out in pageant gowns. Kennedy, to some extent, came out in a lot of pageant gowns, but we saw concepts this time around, and that is what is so special about this season. It's also worth noting that this is one of RuPaul's best fashion seasons. I cannot think of many clunkers from this season. One of my favorites is the Despy Awards. All of these gorgeous gowns, ugliest dress ever with that crushed velvet and the spray painting on it. I think it was a VMA look that she still fit into. Her Hello Kitty ball with that beautiful hair. I think Ru was super inspired by the queens this season and decided that she needed to step her Ruwussy up to 15. And she was giving every single week. So as always, let's jump into my top 10 fashions from season 7. And I've received all of these photos from the Drag Race Wiki. Should be in the About if you would like to look at that as well and look at all of those. Remember, if your favorite did not make this list, please, instead of shouting at me, share what your favorite looks were from this season. So let's jump on in, starting in the number 10 spot, which is Pearl's award show look. What I love about this look is how simplistic it was, and this came at a really pivotal moment for Pearl's storyline. Pearl was coming across as this snoozy character who didn't really seem to care very much. Pearl wasn't really giving a lot to the competition and seemed like an early filler queen that happened to send home Trixie for nothing. A lot of people were really upset about that particular outcome. And the following week during Despy Awards, we thought Pearl was going to walk out. But instead, she comes out in this Marilyn Monroe outfit with this beautiful silhouette, gorgeous hair that is sculpted to the gods, and giving us a glamorous old Hollywood look. And for Pearl to come out wearing something like this, showing that she was fully aware, fully present, was being smart and calculated in how she was going to play the game, and wasn't just about to throw it all away, was very smart. And this is a great look for an awards show. It's a really nice classic silhouette. And I think sometimes we don't need to have anything that is too crazy on the runway. In the number 9 spot is Violet Chachki's Hello Kitty Couture. Here's what I love about this look. One, Violet made this. Violet's branding was all about corsetry, exaggerated shapes, showing us an insane silhouette. And Violet comes out in this handmade corset with this interesting hip detail that the feathers that she used here are mirrored on the gloves as well. The gloves are immaculately made, have a nice little rouge to them. All the colors work coherently. I love the shoe choice with these little stockings that she has on. The Hello Kitty crane that's around her head is very smart. It allows for more exaggerated shapes. And when you are meant to provide a look that is doll-like, that looks like it was made of tchotchkes, that looks like it could be associated with the Hello Kitty franchise, I think this is kind of on par with where Manila's brain was during the money ball, where at the end of the night, you've got all your crumpled money and you pull that all out. What does that all look like? And I think Violet, when looking at this challenge, thought, when you look into a crane game, when you look into a machine that's got all these toys in them, you just see a big pile of them all. And as the crane goes down to get them, what is that going to look like as it comes up? So there's a lot of fun details and thoughts that are in here. And it also isn't too busy in the way that a lot of the other looks just had too much going on. This has nice focal points because you get the waist in the middle. You've got this crazy silhouette happening on the hips, this crazy silhouette on the head, which no one had done, and everyone is always trying to replicate this. You see fashion designers now that are still replicating this particular look and silhouette because it was so fashion forward, and Violet was really thinking in a place that no one before her except Manila and Raja were really thinking about. In the number 8 spot is Max's entrance look. This peplum jacket is so beautiful with the gold applique on it. I enjoy all the flecks that are put in an interesting way. The buttons are very nice. It very much is evoking the idea of old Hollywood glamour with the pencil skirt, this peplum jacket, the hat, the details in the makeup and the hair. It was Max's brand completely stamped. And I think this was a great way of starting out your trajectory in the game by showing right when you walk in, I am an old Hollywood beauty. I am giving you old Hollywood glamour, and I am giving you a woman of a certain age, and you are going to eat it up. I don't think many girls that have come in the workroom showed us such a strong sense of who they were right off the get-go. That's what Max did with this look, and that's why I like it so much and why it ended up in my top 10. In the number 7 slot is Pearl's ugliest dress ever. I love this look for just the purpose of it not being the prompt at all. It's actually so cute and so high fashion. And for me, I think the googly eyes take it to such a silly, campy place that it makes sense structurally with the polka dots that are happening in 2 different tones on the sleeve and on the actual dress part. And even the lace almost looks like it has polka dots on it, down to the white socks with the black shoes. This whole look is very cohesive, and I know that it's not quite the prompt, and she said herself that she felt she looked really cute in this look, and I agree. She looks adorable. I love a dress with a silly perspective. I tried to make something with googly eyes on it once, and it just didn't look right. Somehow Pearl did it well here. In the number 6 slot is Trixie Mattel's finale outfit. I love this look because it really stamped where Trixie was at this time. And I mean, look at where Trixie's come. From all of these years ago when Trixie first showed up, I saw that crazy white eye makeup and I knew that there was something special about her. I was rooting for Trixie from day one. I waited in Trixie's first DragCon line for 3 hours while she was in between projects. That was a whole incident that happened, but I needed to see her. This was before I think Trixie really exploded. This was before, this was just kind of right at the height of her being in the public eye. And I've always loved Trixie. The fact that she came out and really stamped, I am your plastic, real-life Barbie doll, was such a smart way of finishing this season, wrapping it up. I love these thick paillettes that are on her. I love all the use of the sheer fabric, the glitter fabrics that are all through here with a really nice, clean silhouette. The look is crazy, and it's just old school Trixie in that manic, wild thing that she used to do. And I'm glad that she's moved away from this. But my God, I love it because it's such an era in time. And I like something that is sort of a time capsule to who a queen was. You look at a lot of these other fashions from some of these other queens, and I think you can sort of see inspiration in what they're still doing now. You can see a little bit here and there that they haven't given up that part of their aesthetic. But Trixie was so into this look, this Barbie doll with the blue contacts, always in bubblegum pinks, really stamping this idea that she was a Mattel doll. And I love that point of view. It's something that will always hold very special to me. And I think this also marked a big change in the drag scene because when Trixie got eliminated, everyone was doing these big eyes. No one cared about this big style makeup until Trixie started doing it. And now the girls can't stop. Her influence is huge, and that's why I think Trixie really has made her mark in a way that nobody else has because she had such a specific POV. And we've been allowed to see that grow as she's grown, and that's cool to be a part of. In the number 5 slot is Mrs. Kasha Davis and Katya's conjoined twins look. What I enjoy about this look is how batshit it is. 2 twins that are connected at the vagina. That's insane, y'all. That's insane. I love these 2 ladies that are going to the bingo hall. They've got their cigarettes, they got their coffee, they're ready to spend all of their money, their boxed wine on the shoulder. This crazy hair that you just look at and you can smell that hair. You can smell these ladies from a mile away by just looking at them. The animal print is bananas, and I love that this came out of Katya's mind. If I did not love Trixie so much, I would have loved to have seen Mrs. Kasha Davis come back. And in some alternate universe where Trixie never went home, I think that Katya and Kasha Davis would have won this challenge, and Pearl and Trixie would have just been safe. I very much feel that Kasha deserved to come back. I don't believe that she deserved to go home at the time she did. I thought she obliterated that lip sync. And I really believe in my whole heart that Ru just doesn't appreciate the type of drag that Kasha Davis does. Because what she does is very special and very unique and has a beautiful point of view and perspective. And I love what Mrs. Kasha Davis does. I love this era of Katya giving really tacky glamour. And now Katya's just leaned in fully to the tacky and bounces back and forth between glamour, camp, and tackiness. And I love this. In the number 4 slot is Jaden Dior Fear's Death Becomes Her runway. I loved this look. And I was very confused why it landed her in the bottom. You look at this, you already understand what the orange jumpsuit is. You see the barbed wire, you understand what that is. You see the blood. This meets the runway prompt. That this is someone who died trying to get out of prison. And I remember her story being something like she went to go see her baby daddy and died. And I think that that's funny. I don't necessarily think it matches really with the story, other than just a prison escape is funny. I like this idea, especially because I believe at this time Orange is the New Black was starting to become pretty popular. So riffing off of something that is culturally relevant and poking at it and bringing that to the runway is smart. I think Jaden has a really fun perspective on drag. I've seen her perform in real life, and she is so magnetic, so charismatic, so energetic, and I thought her runways every week reflected her personality in a way that I don't think Ru appreciated. And this look in particular, I don't think was appreciated enough, because this was one of the best of the night, in my opinion. It really looks like someone who died, where some of the other ones were just a little too camp. Maybe Miss Fame's was pretty close. Pearl's Violets were pretty simplistic. I understood Katya's, but it was so camp. Ginger's didn't really read as someone who died, and Kennedy's certainly did not either. This look is burned into my brain. When I think about fun, campy looks that tell a story, this is one of the first ones that comes to my head. And I just appreciated how much Jaden went out of the box for this and really tried to sell us a story. The distressing on this is also very nice, and the orange looks presumably like it came from a prison. This is all very good. In the number 3 slot is Katya's bearded and beautiful runway. Even though this is a very simplistic outfit, there is almost no detailing to this suit. There's almost no detailing to the skirt. It sells a story, and I'm a bitch who loves a story. Doing a female Abraham Lincoln is demented for a bearded and beautiful runway. Your goal is to come out showing that you can wear a beard and be glamorous. And Katya said, what if I just wore a beard and came out as a femme Abraham Lincoln and wasn't trying to be beautiful? What if I just did a silly, fun costume to make the judges laugh? And it works. It's so good. And this is what I mean about how much this season really changed the game. Because we got an interesting runway prompt to begin with, but then we had queens like Katya who were coming out and saying, I'm going to give you a story. This season changed everything about the way that we look at runways. And it has a lot to do with Violet, with Katya, with Jaden, Max, Trixie, Ginger, all of these queens. Now I'll name the whole cast. They all contributed to this massive shift in where Drag Race was and where it was going. And I love that. In the number 2 slot is Katya's Jet Set Eleganza outfit. I can't explain to you how often I think about this look. I'm not joking. This weird little tea cozy dress that Katya had with the pencil skirt and the box pleat peplum over it, the long sleeve crop top with this tiny little hat and the socks made of the exact same fabric. This is the most wild look I have ever seen as a fabric. As a queen, I love problem patterns. I love prints that are bold, that have a lot to say, but simultaneously aren't really saying anything, like florals in a print, groundbreaking. But this weird turquoise with all these crazy flowers, this feels like something that an old lady would have as a pillowcase. And Katya made it into this gorgeous silhouette that sells the story. This legitimately does feel jet set. I could see someone getting on a plane, some old lady getting on a plane and dressed like this, ready to fly out to Cancun for the weekend with her little hat. It's part stewardess, it's part eccentric old lady, it is crazy cat lady, it's sexy, beautiful, stupid, everything that Katya is rolled into one. And the look is immaculate. I think about this look constantly, this very stark turquoise. I cannot express to you that this fabric should not work as a dress. If you were to make this into a dress, it could be like a prom dress, perhaps, a skirt, perhaps, but it should have other panels in it to break up all of the floral, and it doesn't need it the way that it's been constructed. It's just immaculate. Finally, in the number 1 slot is Max's bearded and beautiful runway. I love this look because it evokes something old-timey. It feels very Shakespearean. It feels sort of medieval. The addition of the jousting sword was a great addition here. I love the very tight, stiff beard and mustache combination that is swirly and has dimension to it. This is a immaculate look. One of the best themed looks, I think, of all time. I don't know how many runways could compare to this because it's not too crazy. This is a simple look. It's a very simple silhouette with a corset and some hot pants and then cute little boots. But you add the sword prop, the beard that's stiff, and then the jousting helmet. And you get a complete story and vision that works so well for the prompt and the theme and even the challenge that day, which was about Shakespeare. Max really killed this runway. And this look is one of those that, again, is burned into my brain. I think about this look often and how good it was. And I'm really glad that Max came out in something that was really her and didn't try to be anyone else for the sake of Rue and Michelle. Max was here to show her silver hair, to give a solid look, and to sell a story on the runway, and that's exactly what she did. So that has been my top 10 favorite looks from season 7 of Drag Race. I do want to give a special shout out to Kennedy Davenport's After a Long Night of Hookin'. Trey didn't like the session, so he had gutted me, but I didn't die, I crystallized. He threw me into the embers and I became a Glamazonian bitch ready for the runway. That was a great look. I love Trixie's bearded and beautiful runway. I enjoyed a lot of the green, including Mrs. Kasha Davis's money look. Miss Fame and Candy Ho's plastic surgery look was probably one of the best plastic surgery looks of the entire series, and it was the one that got the most dust from Michelle, even though it truly was one of the best ones. So overall, this season has this iconography, this magic to it, this mysticism that changed the game forever about Drag Race. And I'm so grateful that it did, because we deserved that as an audience. We deserved this big shift. And you can thank this season for providing such high fashion looks. Even though a lot of people look back and say that it was a mediocre season, I don't think it was. I think it was a great season with not so great challenges. And that's what it boiled down to, in my homosexual opinion. So what were your top 10 favorite looks? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you for the next one. Goodbye. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to click that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Goodbye.